Once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything.
Mind has to be stronger than your feeling. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life. There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind.
It's all in your mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. If you continue to believe as you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. You will continue to get what you have always got.
But you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
Hi you guys, my name is Raven and welcome back to my channel. If you clicked on this video, you were probably in your healthy girl era, getting things done, we accomplishing these goals type of mood. But most importantly, you are interested in the power of the mind and how taking control of the power of your mind can completely alter your life. But before we hop into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because I upload videos like this every single week. Now that that's out the way, before we dive in too deep, we need to first acknowledge that we need to have the growth mindset. The growth mindset is a way of viewing challenges and setbacks. People with the growth mindset understand that even if they struggle with their skills, their abilities are not set in stone. They know if they work hard and they have discipline, they'll be able to reach their goal. They think that with work, their skills can improve over time, hence why having this mindset is so important. Basically, people with this mindset are constantly looking to improve their lives, and they know that where they are now, they're not going to be there forever. They know that if they dedicate time and strive to be 1% better every single day, they will be more successful than the average person. And the opposite of the growth mindset is the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is the thought of things won't change because I was born this way. Everyone in my small town, this is the routine that they do, and we're not gonna strive from that. But we'll get into that more later. And I feel like that definition of the fixed mindset, it could be so easy to be like, oh, I'm not like that at all. Like, I'm always striving to be better and like I want better for myself. But if you find that you typically avoid challenges because you don't want to fail, you ignore feedback or don't really take feedback well, even if you find yourself saying, you know what, I feel good about this, I don't need to do anything more than what I'm doing right now. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, by the way. But people with this mindset overall are like, I am comfortable the way I am, I don't want to change, and I know I'm not going to change even if I put my efforts in, because that's just how things are. When you have this mindset, when you don't have the growth mindset, everything that I'm going to say forward would just not make sense or apply to you. That will bring us to our next point, which is time will pass by whether you commit to your goals or procrastinate them. You need to change your routine to be able to see a change in your life. And I feel like this is something that we're all feeling as the end of the year is coming to the close. Like, the fact that it's November is just crazy to me because where has the time gone? All over social media, we're doing these cute little like yearly recaps and saying like all the fun and successful things that we did this year. We feel such an influx of like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or wow, I didn't accomplish anything that was on my dream board, because this is a time of year that we are seeing how other people spent their year, seeing how other people spent their time, and we're comparing it to ourselves. Best thing that you can do for yourself, and really any time that you have this feeling, is to take that energy and channel it elsewhere. Instead of channeling it into a place of comparing yourself to other people, feeling envious, feeling low on yourself, switch that and use it for your own good. Switch that and be like, you know what, I'm going to use this to motivate me, and I see them doing this, I want to be able to do that. A plant will only grow if you're watering it. So if you're not doing something, you can't necessarily get mad at yourself for not achieving that. For me especially, like, this is what really hit home, and maybe it will hit home for you, but I was always like, I want to be a YouTuber, like I want to do YouTube, I want to create content, be a social media person, but how am I supposed to do that if I'm not even uploading content? Like, you can't expect something to come out of nothing. You know, you have to actually spend time and develop it so that it can actually branch into something and it can give you new and greater opportunities. Even if you aren't trying to be a YouTuber, let's take this as fitness, for example, because everyone's trying to be in their fitness girl era, right? So say if you want to become this person that works out and you want to become this person that has this like dream fit body, right? That means that you want to take on an identity that's necessarily not you, or it's not 100% you. That makes any sense, especially if you're going from someone that doesn't work out to someone that does work out. If you want to take on a new identity, know that that comes with routine behavior to the point where you're able to develop that sense of identity. Doing something consistently and adding it to your routine is a way to take on that behavior and a way to take on that personality trait. If you want to have a fit body and you want to be known as a girl that works out, just start working out. Saying it and probably hearing it sounds so simple. It just takes us a lot to get to that point. You know, it takes us a lot to want to work out because we want everything to be perfect. We want to have the perfect workout set. We want to have the perfect workout shoes. You want to get your diet correct. If you are constantly waiting for a perfect moment, just know it is not going to happen. There is no such thing as a perfect moment. Being perfect is the very thing that's holding us back. It stops us from even getting the opportunity to have a base level to build up off of. How are you supposed to get better if you haven't even attempted the thing that you're trying to get better at? It just doesn't make any sense. So we want to be perfect. That's why we're not starting. It's uncomfortable. It's super duper uncomfortable walking into a place and feeling like you don't know what to do. You feel out of place. It's just so super duper uncomfortable. Working out, like running on a treadmill, you're like out of breath. You're like, I can't do this. I feel like I'm dying. You know? It is the very reason why we see people having other things and we become envious, because we're constantly pushing it off for tomorrow when it's something that we could have done today. It's something that we could have started today and improved on for tomorrow. If you are not going to commit yourself to doing something, you have to come to peace with that decision. Every single day we make a choice whether we're going to do it or we're not going to do it. And I feel like a lot of people say that they want to do things, but it doesn't really align with them. They want to do it because they see somebody else doing it. And there's nothing wrong with drawing inspiration from other people, but if you know you realistically don't want to do it and you realistically are not going to do it, then there's no point of beating yourself up for not doing it. I am so sorry if the angle changes. I have to stop to blow my nose and clear my SD card. So basically, you have to come to peace with the decision of you not doing something. You cannot expect to reap the rewards of doing something that you're not doing. But let me know if you guys want a video on the difference between motivation and discipline and how to use that as well to your advantage when you don't feel motivated and you don't want to do something necessarily, but you know you have to do it. Because I would love to do that video for you guys. The last mindset change that you need to make to reach your full potential, you have to get out of your bubble and get more exposure of the world. Because what happens is we get so confined into our circle and our day-to-day lives, not realizing that there's people in the world that have a completely different life than you, not realizing that there is more to the world than what you are currently looking at. If you are not exposed to it, you're not gonna know what is out there. So that's why you have to keep watching like YouTube videos and reading books and getting out into the world and exposing yourself to these new experiences that you didn't even know that was out there. If you've only flown economy in your entire life, you do not know the pleasure and the happiness that comes from first class. And if you just ride first class one time, you will be able to see the difference between the two, You are exposed to a whole new world. You are exposed to a different set of people. I'm not saying the people that sit in first class are below the people that sit in economy, but I'm saying that you're able to receive those luxury experiences in first class that you don't get to experience in economy, and you probably never would have experienced if you never went to first class. And you cannot let the circumstance that you are in define you. Nothing is forever. Nothing is permanent. If you continue to water a plant, it will grow. If you continue to show up every single day, you are going to get something out of it. It may not be what you want to be out of it, but you are going to learn something out of it. The only time that you don't see growth or you don't see movement is when something is at a standstill. But when you're constantly moving, no matter how little or slow it is, you're still making progress. It's just slowly moving. One thing that I feel like we've been focusing on a lot at church too is knowing that there's more to the story, you know? I feel like we just get stuck rereading the same boring chapter. And what's that boring chapter? Our day-to-day lives. That we don't realize that if we just keep going, if we just get past that little chapter, there's more to life and there's more to continue on. What gives me peace is knowing that I may know the next step ahead of me. You know, I may know where I came from, where I've been, but God sees the whole story. So as long as I put my faith in Him, I follow Him, I follow His word, I know that I will be led to success because I'm following the Lord and it's His plan. That's almost like you're in a maze and you decide to go on a maze with the person, like your best friend, rather than going on the maze with one of the workers there at the maze. Like why wouldn't you want to be on the team with someone that knows the way instead of being on the team as someone or something that's just as confused as you are, that's just experiencing this life for the first time just as you are. The biggest challenge of life is controlling your mindset and controlling your emotions and your way of thinking of things. Once you get in the habit of thinking only one way, your brain only knows that way. And this is such a, I don't know, what am I, millennial, Gen Z? I don't know, but this is such a that way of thinking. But I like to compare it to like our TikTok feeds and like our Instagram feeds and overall the algorithms that are on social media. If you feed into one category, that's all you're gonna see on your social media page. That is all you're gonna see, as we know. And that means that every time you're going on social media, anytime that you're getting your news, you're only seeing one perspective. You're not seeing anybody else's perspective. It will really narrow down your way of thinking because you only know one perspective. But if you know different perspectives, you're able to bounce ideas off each other and see different points of views. And instead of having this used against you, you need to use it for you. And that goes into your circle as well. Anytime that I'm meeting someone and I'm developing a friendship with someone, I always think like, okay, if I keep hanging out with this person, what do they teach me? What can I teach them? I'm very particular about the people that I hang around and the people that I spend, the people and places that I spend my time and energy. The best quote from the Bible, or the best scripture from the Bible, is in Luke. It is Luke 5:17. It's basically a story about how a paralyzed man was healed because of his friend's faith. Like they literally all carried him to Jesus to heal them. And you always have to ask yourself, like, do my friends speak life over me or do they speak death into me? Do my friends motivate me and inspire me to do better, or am I leaving our conversations just feeling completely drained and completely just out of it? Your friends and your circle will tell you where you will be in the next 5, 10, 15 years. Who you hang around matters so much. People, it's kind of like networking, how you network to get better opportunities. You can also be hanging around somebody, and because of the way they are, it can block your blessings and block your opportunities as well. Just as easy as it can help you and aid you, it can also break you. How many times have we heard of situations where we're hanging out with our friends, and because blah 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 has beef with somebody, now we all got beef with somebody, and you don't want to hang around yourself with people like that, because they're just going to continue to get you into these situations that's just going to end up harming you in the end. When we see people that they look like us, they're from the same place that we are from, it's easier to put ourselves in their shoes and see our life becoming their life. And that's why representation is so important. That's why it's important to have your social media feed be tweaked to what you're inspired by, but what you want to see, versus having it be like all this negativity. And I'm sure you heard the quote, if you're the smartest one in the room, get out the room. Exactly, because what are you going to learn in a room that you're the best one in? Yes, you can help everybody else, but who's going to help you? Like, how are you going to get better if you're just surrounded by people that aren't as motivated or aren't doing the things that you want to do, and that you can't really learn from or get any positivity from? Find that other room, sis, and surround yourself with people that not only can you teach them something, and not only can you like be that positive light in them for, but someone that can also be that for you as well. And once you do make that change, you change your circle, you change your bad habit, and you're getting into more alignment with the person that you want to be. Drop the identity of the person that you used to be. You are not that person anymore. You have proved to yourself that you're not that person anymore, because every single day you are showing up and being better than the person that you were. And that doesn't mean that we have to just completely dismiss that. We can still acknowledge it, but not acknowledge it and be like, oh, that's who I am, that's my behavior, but acknowledge that that's who I was, and because of that I was able to grow from it. Because of who I was in the past, I'm a better person now. This is the key. I used to say all the time how I used to have the worst anger problem. I used to be the meanest person ever, and I'm not that person anymore. And if you're not that person anymore, why do you keep identifying yourself as that person? You know what that does? That brings that negative energy, and that brings the thoughts and feelings and the mindset of the person that you used to be into the person that you are now. So now you're just doing all that work for nothing, because you're still identifying yourself as your past self. Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed to the way of the world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. You are a new person. Your mind is renewed. Do not let your old circle and your old ways destroy the person that you created for today. Defining yourself as your old habit is like those guys that used to play football in high school, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a football player, I'm like, you blah blah blah. But it's like, sir, last time you picked up a football was in high school, and you're like 30 now. Like you've accomplished so much since then. It's not to like shame people that take pride in the fact that they used to play football in high school, but it's more to say like that was the old you, so why are you identifying yourself as someone you were when you're 17, when you're 30? Like, instead of doing that, just say I've grown from that and I've learned from that. From playing football, I learned discipline, I learned consistency, I know the power of teamwork and how to be a leader. I'll just say something like that and be like, instead of being like, oh, I used to play football, like I'm a football player because I played football in high school. Like, no, you are a leader, you are consistent, you are dedicated because you used to play football in high school, not you're a football player. You know? I don't know. Anytime I hear that from somebody, I am just like, why this is the cringiest thing. It just gives me vibes of someone who peaked in high school and they're just like, they can't get away from it. It was like the best time of their life, with like, that's literally probably like 2 to 5% of your life. But what about the other 95 to 98% of everything that you've done in between that time? And just to close this before I go into a whole tangent on this one subject, at the end of the day, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and your current reality is not your future. It is if you don't change anything, and it is if you're not improving. But if you are constantly improving and you're constantly trying to do something better for yourself, your current reality is not going to be your future. I can promise you that. I really hope you guys like this video, and I am so sorry that I sound super duper sick. I literally woke up like this and I had to film videos, so this is what we got. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what other self-improvement videos you guys want to see on my channel. And I will see you guys next week with a new video.